everyone. I hope you are having a wonderful day. This video is going to be trying to cover about how to handle a situation that you have with a seeker. What to do, okay? What to do. How to handle a situation. Let's say that, for example, you have done a reading for someone and this person has a question. Like, for example, this question comes to you and says, you know what, I'm going to have a test, an exam in the following, in about 2 weeks. And I would like you please to help me see if I will pass this test. Okay, so you do the reading and you deliver your answer. Okay, this is how to handle situations for you and how to handle a seeker. How to handle the situation as a reader and how to handle the situation when the seeker comes back to you. Okay, like for example, you did the reading and then the 2 weeks pass and then the seeker comes around and tells you, you know what, you did a reading for me and I didn't pass the test. What happened? What is going on? I really thought I was going to pass this test. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do is go and revise your reading. What exactly did you say? What exactly did you advise the seeker to do, or how to apply himself to pass this test? Okay, so when it comes to you doing the reading, it's highly important that when doing this type of readings and you see a positive outcome in the future for the seeker, it's important for you to mention to that person that it's important to study. It's important to apply themselves to pass this test. It's important to not ignore any subjects, to not think, oh, this is not going to be in the exam, so I don't need to study this. Okay, it's important to say that, and it's important that you mention to the seeker that he must put the time in order to pass this test. That you already see a positive outcome, to please keep doing what you are doing, put in the time to study and make the efforts. Okay, why do we have to handle the situation in this way? Because now let's go to the seeker. Many people or many seekers that come with this type of questions will think, okay, you know what, the psychic or the tarot card reader or the person that did the reading for me already told me I'm going to pass the test. So, you know, I'm good to go. I don't need to study. I can go have fun with my friends. And I already know I'm passing this test. Okay, this is how it sometimes goes wrong when delivering information to the seekers. Okay, because they think because we already seen them passing the test, that they don't need to put in the work or effort. So when the seeker comes to you and tells you, you know what, I didn't pass the test. Okay, you go and revise your reading and you can see how you worded that reading. If you made a mistake, you know what, recognize it, but learn from the experience and learn to word your readings or express your readings in the next time in a better way. Okay, if you, for instance, tell the seeker, you know what, you need to study, you need to put in the time, you need to make the efforts, and he still didn't pass to your test, then you have something, you know. Well, maybe you didn't study. Maybe I told you not to ignore certain aspects of your test. Maybe that is why you didn't pass the test. Many times, this is what exactly happened. Okay, the seeker didn't put the time in to study, or maybe they need to find a better way to study, because we don't all learn in the same way. Maybe they learn by hearing, maybe they learn by making notes or things like that. Okay, so that is scenario number one. Always don't tell them they will just do it. They must put the effort to pass that test. In the same way, it goes around when someone comes, you know what, I want to know if I'm going to get a job that I put an application for. because in many instances about something that a seeker is asking, for example, if they are going to get a job, okay, let's go start first with the seeker. When you grab your cards and you start doing your reading, always it's important to at least put a time frame, okay, in your question. Like for example, he's already put in applications. He wants to know if he is going to be called in the following 15 days, okay, about this job. It's highly advisable for you to put that in your question. Is this person going to be called in the following 15 days? In this way, you have a time frame. If you know how to read time with cards, then you will more or less say, you know what, I already see that this is not going to happen around this time, but I see it happening later. Okay, first scenario, he comes and says, you know what, you told me I was going to get the job. What happened? Because I didn't receive the call or I didn't get the job. First thing that I advise everyone, that you, the reader, is to always encourage the seeker to not just be hanging on one opportunity. Okay, like for example, you know what, if you already see, okay, I see a positive outcome, he is going to get a job soon. You know what, I see that you are going to get a job, or you are going to be successful in getting a job in a certain period of time. Please always advise the seeker to not sit around just waiting for a phone call just from that company. Always advise, you know what, I do see you getting a job, but because we don't know exactly if that job is going to come from that application or another one, it's highly advisable for you to, while you wait, continue putting applications, continue working hard and getting that job. Okay, if it's not exactly there where you are trying to get that job, you might get an opportunity somewhere else. Okay, so the first thing we'll advisable to do will be to advise the seeker to not sit around waiting for one opportunity, because it happens. Okay, you see that they are going to get a job, but it's not exactly where they have their eyes on. It can be somewhere else. So that is what I will advise everyone to do. Okay, so when the seeker comes and says, you know what, I didn't get the job. Okay, so you go revise your reading, you see how you word it, how he understand it, and how what did you advise the seeker to do? If you just plainly say, you know what, yes, I see you will get a job, and that is all you did. So maybe learn from that experience and learn to word your reading a little bit better. Okay, why? Because it can happen. Because why it can happen, okay, on the seeker side, you know, he is waiting for that call, he doesn't put the effort, he is waiting for, you know, sometimes when you want a job, you have to pick up the phone and say, you know what, I put an application on the 12th, and right now we are almost at the end of the month. I was wondering if my application was revised or not. Okay, the seeker sometimes thinks, okay, I hear I'm going to get the job and I don't need to do anything. I don't need to call them or make any further efforts into getting this job because it's a sure thing. And that is a mistake a seeker can make, just waiting and hanging around, not doing anything. Okay, not putting in any efforts or not putting in any work into getting that job. Sometimes you have to pick up the phone and call. Sometimes you have to insist in order for them to, you know what, pick up your application, revise it, and maybe see you as a good candidate. Okay, so that is from the seeker side and that is from your side. It's highly advisable to try not always to just say, yes, you will get that job, because other factors might influence the outcome that you are already seeing. And this is all because the seeker thinks, you know what, I'm getting it and he's not doing anything. So wording this correctly and advising the seeker to keep trying is what I will advise. Okay, now let's move to a different question. Like for example, You know what? I want you to please tell me if my partner is lying to me or is cheating. From the reader side first. Okay, so you do this reading, you throw the cards, and you see, you know what? I don't exactly see, first scenario, I don't exactly see you partner lying to you at this moment, but maybe you like in the past you see, okay, you guys have some complications and trust issues already, okay? That is the first scenario. You don't see the problems right now, but it's clear that they had already have trust issues and problems. That is the first scenario that you're gonna hold, okay? The other scenario is that right straight up. You know what? I do see he is cheating. I see he is lying to you. He's hiding things from you. Sometimes the person that is asking is not ready to hear that. Is not ready to dissolve that. Okay? When this has happened to me, they always ask, but does he love me? Does he has feelings for me? This is always for you, if you are a reader, is a red flag, okay? You hear this. Does he love me? Okay? At times, or does he has feelings for me? At times, it doesn't matter what you are going to say during the reading, because that person is focusing, does he love me? If he loves me, you know what? I can make him change. I can make him change, or I can make the relationship work, and they disregard everything else you said. Okay, so let's say you did the reading and you say, you know what, your partner, I don't see him lying or cheating to you, but I see you guys have trust issues and things like that. I do see he has feelings for you, he loves you, and the rest. Okay, so now she comes around and tells you, you know what, you did a reading for me and you told me that my partner was not lying to me, that he was not cheating or hiding something. That's the first scenario, okay? So first thing you do is you go and revise your reading. How did you word your answer? What did you say about the partner? He has lied to you in the past, but you know what? I don't see nothing going on right now. But he does have feelings for you. Okay, let's say that's what you said. And then she comes and she says, you know what? I just found out that he is going to who knows where. He's going on a trip with someone. Okay, so you have to revise your reading in order for you to come back to the seeker and explain, okay, what could have possibly happened, okay, in this reading. So first of all, if she is finding out that he is cheating, maybe what did you say during the reading? You know, if he has been honest in the past or not. Is that something that the seeker ignore? If he does has feeling for her, that did she ignore his how he truly is? Because in a reading, most of the time, we as readers are going to pick up in these energies, you know. I see issues, I see miscommunications, I see fights, I see he has lied to you in the past, even though you are trying to work things now, okay? And these are those things that she ignored. During the reading, okay, you as a reader, you can point out, you know what, I told you this, and I told you this other thing. Would you consider that those are things that you ignore or disregarded about him? Okay, like for example, let's say, you know what, I told you he is not the type of man that will stick just to you. Okay, he is a man that jumps from one lady to another lady. He's not looking for anything serious, but I can see how he does have feelings for you and he does care for you. This doesn't mean, you know, that he wants to marry you and have a long-lasting relationship. Are those things that you mentioned, did she ignore them or she disregard them? Okay, in this way, when the seeker comes back to you telling you that this or that, you have the right tools. You as a reader must try to mention the positive, but also the negative that you see in a relationship. And in this situation, if a seeker comes back to you telling you, you know what, I found this out, and I was trusting your reading. Okay, things change as how you handle things, and things change after a person knows something or thinks something. This is kind of weird to explain, because when we as readers to a reader, sometimes you say something, but the seeker understands something else for some crazy reason. And this is where you have to make sure how you are telling her and how you are wording the reading. In this way, the message gets across clearly, and you can pinpoint, you know what, I told you this and this and this. You can mention a couple things that you mentioned during the reading so that she can say, well, maybe, you know what, yes, maybe I disregarded some things that you mentioned to me. Also, I advise you that if you have done several readings for the same person about a matter, about a person, you can tell her after you listen to your readings what you had said. You know what? Can you please go and listen to the readings now that the things had happened, okay? Because many times we as readers mention things that they didn't get right at the time when they were in the relationship, and now that they are finding out, they have a different state of mind, and maybe they can understand the reading that you did more clearly. So I will advise, okay, go and revise your reading. Go and revise what I said about this person. Did you do what I advised you on time? Did you wait it too long? Or did the seeker understood wrongly? Okay, so this is what I will be advised for you to do when a seeker comes and tells you, you know what, I found this out. Okay, now another one. Let's say, for example, you did a reading about a person telling you, you know what, can you please tell me if this person will be good for me in a relationship? Are we compatible? Are we going to be successful in this relationship? Okay, ting, ting, ting. You did the reading, and then you see, okay, yes, you know what, I see this man can be good in a relationship with you because I see he is, let's say, he is romantic, he is loving, he is caring, he is sensitive. Okay, always I will advise the seeker, mention the positive, okay, when you see it. But let's consider that this person is not always going to be on his best, and this person is not always going to be lovey-lovey, okay? All relationships have fights, all relationships have ups and downs, and all relationships have misunderstandings, okay? So when you are mentioning a person, you as a reader, please try to mention the positive in this relationship, but also or his positive energy, and also mention a few things in his negative energy. Like, for example, he's loving, caring, sensitive, and he might flirt with you a lot. Okay, now when he's in his negative, I will say that he can be maybe melancholic or sad or too sensitive. Okay, like, for example, if you mention something to him about, you know what, about something he's doing, okay, he brought you a gift and you like, oh, you know what, I don't like that, or it could be anything. Okay, always the point is to always mention how is this person going to act when he's not at his best. For example, it can be, you know what, he might suffer from depression, he might be a little too sensitive. So watch your words and watch what you say. You know what, when this person is not at his best, he might promise you things that he already knows he's not going to fulfill. Or this person might pinpoint at you that it's your fault if something is happening. In this way, when this happens, you mention the good and you mention the bad and how things are going to work out. Okay, so the seeker comes and tells you, you know what, in the reading, you told me that this relationship was good for me, that things are going to work out. Okay, you get the details. You know what, we are fighting, we had misunderstandings, and in this way you might say, okay, you know what, you go revise your reading. You know what, in the reading I mentioned to you that he can be, maybe he suffered from depression, maybe he is too sensitive. Okay, did he lie to you about something or things like that? It can be anything that you mention or anything else that you could get at that moment when you're revising the reading. Most of the time, if you mention the positive and also the negative, you will find out that that is exactly what is happening. Okay, maybe he is too sensitive and he feels hurt about something she did or did not do. Okay, you can mention this and then advise the reader, can you please go and listen to your reading one more time and tell me if what I pinpoint is happening right now, in the positive and in the negative. And you will find out that yes, that is exactly what happens. Okay, and now you can also tell, you know, all relationships have ups and downs, all relationships have misunderstandings, all relationships have fights. If you love this person, then maybe communicate better, hang in there, resolve the issue, resolve the situation. Okay, now there is just a few scenarios, okay, that you can think ahead of what you're going to do and what you are going to say. Also, it's highly important for you as a reader, and also it's super important for the seeker to know. As a reader, we don't have all the answers. We are not always right. All the information is not always available for us to bring across to the seeker. We are going to try in the best of our abilities. We are going to give our 100%. Sometimes if we see something, we must try to just get the message across, but never as a sure thing. Why we must not do it as a sure thing? Because the seeker stops working toward their goals, and because the seeker thinks, okay, she told me it's a yes, so I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to leave it to the universe to bring me this yes. And this advice is wrong for the seeker, because the seeker might not continue on the path that he was already heading to, and he turns around and then you get the outcome change. Okay, now as you as a seeker also as well understand the same thing. Okay, we don't have all the answers, we are not always right, we are trying to guide you, we are trying to see what is the best outcome possible to be for you in the near future. If you change something, if you do or do not if you do something or don't do something, also the outcome can be altered. Like for example, if you see if we see for you, you know what, I see that this person is good for you now and this and that, but you wait and wait and wait, you know, until that person is your last resource, or until you after 5 months or 4 months you had a fight and you finally say, you know what, yes, I'm going to give that person a chance. But you know, by then the energies had already changed, everything is different, so you cannot expect something that was said a long time ago to happen exactly how it was seen back then. Why? Because the energies have changed, things fluctuate, things change with everything we do, with everything you say. So in this way, I hope this video helps us as readers how to handle situations, and how as seekers how to handle situations. Okay, we are not always right, we don't have all the answers, all the information is not always available to us. Like for example, you want to know something, but sometimes that the right straight answer that you are looking for is not available. It's not available for me, it's not available for anyone. In many occasions, this also happens because you, the one that is trying to achieve something, you have not made up your mind. You have not even on your unconscious, okay? You have not made up your mind. You have not made the choice. And without the choice, or the even if it's the lightest spark of you, the seeker, showing us where you heading, it's impossible to see. Okay, it's impossible to see. So please, let's all be nice to each other. Let's all be kind to each other, because at the end of the day, our intentions are good, and we are here to try to guide you, to try to put you on the right track, to try to steer you in the right directions. Our intentions will always be good and positive. So thank you. I hope this helps. I wish you all a wonderful day. Bye.